Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is, I don't know, maybe a Hollywood Slayers dropping like flies, maybe not. I'm going to take a day break from Matthew Perry. There's more stories coming in. I'll cover some of that tomorrow, or whatever is available tomorrow. There's a lot available, so not everything. I got a couple of comments of people saying they like my longer videos, and I have another channel. My original channel, Pockets of the Future. It's linked in every description box of my other two channels. I have three channels. One's a Gratefullness meditation channel. But, you have to kind of bookmark things. The search, Google search no longer shows my channel because they suck. And, so if you search Pockets of the Future, you're not going to find me. Unfortunately, with, over 200,000 subscribers, and that's a whole other issue there, right? But I do have two channels. I make the longer videos every other day on my regular channel, and I'm trying to make videos every day here. So there's that. This discovery report in local news, the giant seems to have died fighting a great horned serpent. So here's this giant here. I believe in giants, so, people... Whatever. I'm going to make this bigger. This looks like maybe 15 or 20 foot size skeleton. And there's some sort of serpent around it. And they both died. Believe it if you will. There's the giant foot. And... there's the giant. Like I said, I believe in giants. There's a Whispers of the Brighter World message about giants. There's a skeleton. There's news. Well, there's I don't know what language that was. You see the size of the thing. I've seen a lot of giants in people's front yards. So, obviously they could fake something like that, but, I don't know if this one's real or not, but I do believe that there are real giant skeletons out there. They're just not telling us about it. So here is, parking is out of control in New York City. This person just parks on the sidewalk. If you've ever been there, parking's a nightmare, and that was years ago. I guess there are a lot of people leaving the city, so it's a little bit different. But then there's this person here, people just parking on the sidewalk. So Gavin Newsom goes to China, and this happens. No, we can't do that. Can't do it. It's fine.
Some awkward moments during Governor Newsom's China trip over the weekend. He was showing off his basketball moves with
He flattened the kid.
Group of students when he lost his footing. Took down a child as he fell onto the court. Happened during a shop.
Then he spanks him, like right here.
Took down a child as he fell onto the court. Happened during a shop in Beijing.
Gives him a weird hug.
After tumbling on the child,
Boom,
laughed, patted him on the back, and told him, quote, "I got you." Neither the child nor the governor were injured.
See, the thing is, he obviously has some basketball skills. I'll show you this because when he puts the ball down here, like that, that sucks what he does there. But he spins. He does a proper spin move there. This kid comes in, didn't see him. He's wearing dress shoes, and kaboom. You got Newsom, and then it gets weird. Like then after that, it just gets weird. Gives him a hug, and pats him on the back, whatever. Just really creepy. So that happened.
Want hier wordt binnenkort het grootste paasevenement van Nederland georganiseerd. Zeilkampen. Burgemeester, wat is er nou zo bijzonder aan zeilkampen?
Als je de mooiste...
Kaboom. We all knew that was going to happen when we said do an interview on the boat, they said. So Madame Xpirationd comes over and does this. Takes some, it looks like beer, and spits on the audience. And you can spit on me anytime you want, baby. She's, disgusting, decrepit person. And they want her to spit her ghoul juice on him. And so this looks a little bit staged, but even that's really depressing. So this former basketball player, Joe Smith, so I think he must be in his 50s probably, maybe close to his 60s. can be seen confronting his wife about the account. She has some, what do you call it here? OnlyFans account. So it's just some sort of porn site, some porn. She's doing some sort of porn thing. She must be in her 40s. And this is the conversation they have.
I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. Out of all these years, the disrespect that comes with it, that you couldn't even talk to me before you did it, that's bullshit, That's fucked up, Keith. I'm telling you, that's fucked up.
Wait, no, calm. But you're not gonna say me or that's up. It's not fuck.
Record me with the doing.
So they could be doing this because they're trying to create publicity. At least that's why she's recording. Whether he's in on it or not is debatable. Everything's so questionable now, people's ethics and morals and acting abilities, right? But if this is real, then his wife, they seem to be on some sort of economic hard times here. He doesn't have his, whatever he was making as a basketball player 20 years ago, whenever he retired, isn't lasting. I don't know, bad business managers, whatever it is, right? And she's come up with a solution, which is to record him and, for her hoe page, right? Either he's in on it or not, but that's what's going on here.
Listen, it's not up, and we're going to. Okay, look, so I have an OnlyFans page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
Of course I'm mad at you just finding out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself, so why should I have to tell you? My choice, my body, my fucking choice.
I'm your partner. You're supposed to come to me and talk to me.
Joe, I've been talking to you about mad things. I've been asking for solutions to shit, not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. Not in my book. That's no
You
solution.
knew who the f I was when you met me.
Before,
I
knew that.
thought that I would never have to go back to anything like this again. But unfortunately, that's not the case right now.
After that, everything's supposed to change.
So her saying, you knew who I was when you met me, which meant that she was either a hooker, a stripper, or both. Just a general hoe, like generalized hoe, right? Which is, everyone's got to make a living. So that's what she was making a living. She was selling her, sexuality or body or whatever it was, right? Whatever you want to look at it, that was her job. That was her, orientation to the world. And he married her and decided to, give it a go with a hoe, which is often a mistake that people make in their life when they go in thinking that somebody's doing something just because they need to out of necessity, and it isn't who they are. And if they get an opportunity to leave that behind them, which she did because she married a rich NBA player, and then she no longer had to sell her body. But then they were on hard times, and she's asking him for solutions. He doesn't got any, so she goes back to doing what she did before, her original nature. Because, that's her skill set, and, time's a wasting. She won't be able to do this for long. Ask Madame Xpirationd date, right?
Everything did change.
No. Obviously it hasn't.
No, it had to. I had to do something.
It hasn't. You stood out there showing your body. You stood out there doing stuff like this on camera.
You act like that's the only thing that I do. I have mad jobs, but they're not facilitating everything that needs to be done. So I got something extra. OnlyFans be breaking me off. What the fuck?
Come on, Keish, with that. It don't matter what they breaking you off. It's the disrespect that comes with it.
What disrespect?
You couldn't come and talk to me about it.
Okay, well, we're talking about it now.
Because I had to find out on the fly.
All right, then. But now, okay.
No,
so wait.
I had to find out on the fly.
Before. So now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Okay. And so? Whatever.
Okay, so she whatevered him. Now, they're either both in on it, and that's pretty sick, or she decided to do her fans only without telling her husband, only fans or whatever it is. And then he found out about it, and she decided to record that to promote her and her page, and so they don't have a relationship. So like either they're both scumbags and they're both promoting this thing because of hard times. That makes him kind of a pimp. Or he didn't know about it and they have no relationship and she's, a horrible person. And, what are you going to do? Whatever. Joe Smith is 48 years old. So things ain't going so well for Joe. To shed the gay beer image, Bud Light partners with Sport where sweaty men in underwear hug each other for 25 minutes in the missionary position. So that was funny. Blue Jay host Jamie Camel says he's in treatment for pre-skin cancer, turbo cancer. And then U.S. announces new nuclear weapon, 20 times more power of the bomb dropped in Hiroshima, days after it emerged. Chinese plans to double its warheads by 2030. So, delivers a 360 kiloton yield. Cardiovascular disease deaths due to extreme heat expected to skyrocket. Exactly. I mean, there's all these new ways that your heart can stop, except for one that makes the most sense. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers went back on Pat McAfee, goes there, I guess, every week on a Tuesday or something.
They're selling a jersey.
Why?
They're thinking about selling a jersey. I don't know if you know this. Boom! Mr. Pfizer coming right up from the people at Pfizer.
So he's he works for one of the three brothers that own Johnson & Johnson.
You'll be getting money from Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer.
Wow.
Just something to think about.
So this is the interview where he later talked about debating Mr. Pfizer, and that's Travis Kelce with he was going to take RFK Jr. and Travis Kelce was going to get Fauci. So Aaron Rodgers goes on to ask if that's real, and Pat McAfee says, yeah, it's research and development. They're actually looking into the Mr. Pfizer thing. And then he says, I don't mind being called Mr. Johnson & Johnson because the Johnson family's been good to him. There's two of them. He talked about Woody and somebody else. But he said he doesn't play for the Johnson Corporation. He plays for the Jets, which is, something different, right? Which is personally owned. Like the Johnson Corporation doesn't own the Jets. It is one of the, the owners of Johnson also bought the Jets. But that is whatever it is. But then he says this.
A little joke about a guy shilling for, potentially, actually not potentially, but for, corrupt company. And
so there's that. Shilling for a corrupt company. And Pat McAfee, they know the power of Pfizer. It's kind of an interesting interview. It's not kind of, it's an interesting interview. Pat McAfee goes on to say that, he's on ESPN now, and they're not cutting anything out. They're not saying anything about what he's saying, Aaron Rodgers. Even though, ESPN was, Disney was one of the worst about making it mandatory to get the bloop. If you saw some of my earlier coverage. But he says that ESPN hasn't talked to him about any of these things. And then this guy, Aaron Rodgers, says,
you don't think there's a guy back there with a little button? He's just like, once he starts talking about something, I'm going to push this, I'm going to cut the feed.
So talking about censorship on Disney ESPN, which is tanking, they had to back out of doing a very woke version of one of their fairy tale stories, whatever it was, Sleeping Beauty or one of them, the one with the dwarves. And the dwarves were all, in the spectrum, or the the LGBTQ spectrum. And with all the pushback that happened with Bud Light, now they had to redo that whole Disney's seeing the backlash. People are it's reached a point now. So then he goes back to the jerseys and he says this: you should get some royalties because
from what I saw in the reaction, there's a lot of people that are big Pfizer fans.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I think they would buy those jerseys.
So that was funny. And then Aaron Rodgers comes back with this.
Well, there's a lot of propaganda out there, you know, a lot of propaganda out there.
So, like Pat McAfee knows, like they're sponsored by, I mean, they're all this whole thing. So then comes the clip where he challenges them to a debate. So this was like 2 weeks ago or last week, 10/23. So 8 days ago. Today's Halloween, by the way. Merry Halloween. This happened.
See sitting down across from Aaron and RFK Jr.
Appointment television.
I know you have that.
So they're mocking their ability to. I mean, Travis Kelce's a dope. He's got nothing. Turning points here. They still have the community guidelines strike. So there's a point where YouTube was allowing people to talk about this stuff, and then they clamped down again. They were either pressured by the big pharma or whatever. But aside from that, in mainstream media even, there's only 3% of people who are opting for the bloop. I mean, there's like 3% of people still wearing masks, maybe a little bit more than that. But for the most part, people kind of realized there's a lot of BS. And, now information's coming out and people are speaking up. And, this wasn't, something that could have been done, I think, even a year ago, whatever it was, and now it's kind of come full circle. And there was a little bit of an opening up before they clamped it down, but it looks like that's, no longer possible. And the Republican candidates all have to be against the bloop or they have no chance. So, even Trump, who, Trump, of course, can say whatever he says because his followers are just dopes and will follow him to the, ends of the earth, which is exactly what they're doing. But anyways, there's been some changes here. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paramount, definitely born for the apocalypse. And the ascension, everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.